Hello, Fearless Gamers, and welcome to another podcast here on Fearless Games. I'm Matt the Vet, and today I am joined by...
James the Wildcard.
Welcome, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's to everybody.
Yes, it has been a while since we've done a couple of these podcasts. Since December, it's been, like 3 or 4 months.
Yes, well, it's like a fine wine. You gotta let it age a little bit, and then it's just magnifique.
And it also helps when I actually get around and actually post what we've been recording.
Again, like a fine wine.
So today there's a couple of things that we will be going over. First and foremost, I think we should get out of the way is some of the new stuff going on, which is the Adeptus Custodes Codex is coming out soon, and the Demon Codex just came out.
Yeah, whatever about the Demon Codex. The Legio Custodes, the Golden Legion, is finally coming to 40k properly.
Supposedly, according to this codex, there's going to be non-Golden Custodes.
Which, two things with that. A, Forge World did it first. They have a guy representing like this certain special wardens of Custodes that are in black armor.
Yep.
And then even before that, the Horus Heresy card game had these silver-clad Custodes-esque things.
Isn't there also a picture with like silver Custodes in that famous Emperor Horus showdown pic?
That's the one. Like they have those. Everybody assumes they're Custodes because they're not Chaos and they're of no Legion that anybody knows about. So like it's got to be Custodes.
Their helmets actually match that Bolter Custodes upgrade kit that Forge World recently dropped out.
Which is another different line of Custodes who are golden armored and with black helmets. But yes, those were silver with black. So I'm really interested to see what they're going to show us, because what the people have to realize, because the Custodian Guard, the Custodes, before the Talons of the Emperor thing with Guilliman coming back and setting up 8th edition, before that whole thing happened, they would get a blurb in every main rulebook saying they're part of the hierarchy of Terra, and that's about it. So you have to realize what they are not, and what they're not are Space Marines. They're Custodes.
And yes, the helmet it matches a Sagittarium Guard.
Right, exactly, which is what Forge World calls it.
Yes,
because they didn't really have
the very
fancy
same helmet
names.
with the little pointy thing at the top and all that jazz.
Pre-Forge World, we didn't have fancy names for their units. Like their Custodian Terminators were just Custodian Terminators. So, like, and the thing is, yes, they have Terminator armor. Yes, they have Dreadnoughts and Land Raiders and whatnot. And jet bikes. But they are Custodes, much like Space Marines are Astartes.
Yep.
They are. Think of it as like two different species.
Yep.
It's the best way to think of it.
Very good way.
The only reason I say that is because at the same notion, the best way to describe them is Super Space Marines. So it's like, but they're not Space Marines.
And supposedly, this codex will be featuring a bunch of the Forge World models for the Legion Custodes.
Which is interesting.
It is a very interesting, because this would be the first time where typically we've had like maybe 1 or 2 Forge World items get slipped into a codex here and there. They did it with the Imperial Guard. A couple of guard tanks from Forge World came over to the Guard Codex. They can't really think of another time that outside of the Guard, I can't really think of another army that really they've done that with.
Well, you see, I'm curious as to what all, if it's infantry, or they're going to get the vehicles too, because the infantry really is the Sagittarium, if they're going to include rules for that, which would be awesome. And then it would be the Solar, whatever they call the Terminator Squad, I forget, from Forge World, because we have Terminator-looking guys with Guardian
Spears. The Aqualian Terminators?
Yeah, the Aquilian Terminators, because they have they have not Stormbolter Power Fist, but they're more traditionally equipped.
Yeah.
Whereas, which is how they always were. If you look at the old art, they had Stormbolter Power Fist, quite literally. Yep. These guys have like Solarite caster, whatever things, and like awesome talons that kill you. Now in 40k, they threw Guardian Spears everywhere, which is an interesting choice. So I'm wondering if it's going to be kind of like how Space Marines and Dark Needles have access to Cataphractii armor or Tartaros, Yes, we have models for those now, but my point is, I'm wondering if it's going to be, here's Custodian Guard Terminator, or whatever they're going to call it for GW. Here is a Quillon pattern. Here is Sagittarium. Is if they throw the vehicles in there, that'll be the real interesting part, because those are straight up, it's like, yeah, there's no way you could even try and fiddle that yourself. It's like,
I wouldn't be surprised for for it story-wise, because supposedly the repulsor was invented, the story behind it was as Krull went to the Custodian Guard and said, "Hey, Custodian Guard, can I look at your tank so I can try and understand and reverse engineer your grav technology?" And the Custodian Guard went, "Who are you? Get out." And then he went, "Well, fine. Guess I'll look at the land speeder then." And that's where he got the idea for the grav tech.
oh yeah, of course. I mean, all the Custodes gear from the Heresy period, they still have.
Yep.
In fact, the fluff around them is all of their gear, because as 40k does, the older it is, the better it is. All of their gear has the best machine spirits because they're the oldest, most aggressive machine spirits. All of their armor is the best protective-wise because it ages like a fine wine. I have no, it's like...
That's the word of the day for the
because
podcast.
It is fine wine aging, but like their dreadnoughts are like, they have contempt for dreadnoughts, but I wouldn't be surprised if their contempt for dreadnoughts had a little more oomph to them, because they're old, they're Legio Custodes dreadnoughts.
Just don't bring up jet bikes with Dark Angels players, because a lot of people are kind of angry that they have them.
The Custodes not. The Custodes have them in spades.
The biggest issue, like, it seems like from what I've been reading, is everyone just went, "God dang it, the Codex is supposed to be the last jet bike of the Imperium." When, if you really look at the description, it is rumored to be the last one, because remember, not a whole lot of the Imperium knows what the Custodian Guard have, because they've been chilling in the Emperor's palace without their armor on to fight demons. Don't ask me how that makes them better.
Well, they put their armor back. That no armor thing has been gone for a bit. Yeah. They're back to actually wearing not just the helmet.
No,
they've been back to wearing their full armor for a while.
Not in this noggin.
Well, your noggin's a sick one. But like, also what they have to understand too is that when you read the Dark Angels Corax jet bike even further, it's like rumored to be the last jet bike, although numerous accounts of it being destroyed have been said, but yet it always shows up. So, and also the successors have their jet bike too.
Yep. And it's also noted, they said, who knows how many the Dark Angels may have, for they won't disclose. Also,
the Dark Angels might be even capable of reproducing it.
Yeah.
Because the Dark Angels has an ancient tech, They are the oldest legion.
Yep.
And
they can't find out because the Master of the Forge is literally plugged into the rock. He can't go anywhere.
Exactly. He can't go anywhere. He can't do anything. He doesn't, all he does is guide the rock around and has access to all these different templates to do things. Yep. But then he dies. But but has to be replaced. But with the Custodian Guard, firstly, they're the Custodes. They have access. All their gear is pristinely, like, if you thought Space Marine armor was lovingly kept, Custode, like, instead of having it lovingly, lapped with special wiping and buffing powders, they lap it with the person. They are the special powder. Like they grind up saints and they put them as like that's they are a demigod literally in people's mythos in the Imperium of the lore of 40k, because Space Marines are these thousands or so chapters strong of these mythological warriors that the standard citizen would be lucky to see one of them in their lifetime ever.
Yep.
The Custodes are 10,000 strong, but that's just 10 chapters size. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's how small they are. They are like, the Grey Knights are supposed to be a secret chapter too. Yes. And they're like secret for a reason while they go around and do things. The Custodes, even though they're bigger, are that much more secretive because 300 of them are always in the Emperor's personal presence, even on his throne now.
Yep.
And the rest of them, they are so important that literally nobody has power over them.
Yes.
Only the Emperor can call them back, can tell them to go to their room or anything like that. Like, you can't, Gulliman had to basically say, I want to see my father, and they were basically like, well, let's go, and then fine, come in. Uh, but like,
There's actually supposedly in the Codex a new character model HQ, which is the dude who has been keeping the Custodes active. It
Yeah.
would seem.
right, and like the thing about the Custodes is nobody, no High Lord of Terror, no Inquisitor Lord, can tell them move. They say you move,
Basically.
or we kill you. Basically, like they tell you yes, you may come into the Emperor's presence or not.
Yep.
You don't get to tell them that. So they're incredibly important with the most advanced technology available. They have grav equipment. They have interesting vehicles now, which I do like. But before Forge World made vehicles for them, they had hover rhinos.
Yep.
Their rhinos didn't use tracks. Their rhinos were grav tanks. They look like a rhino with grav gear on them. So, like, you have to keep in mind just how ridiculous the Custodes are with tech. And they're the Emperor's personal guard. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't they have jet bikes? They had it during the heresy. It's not like they went poof.
Yeah.
So that's just a case of obviously not realizing the gravitas behind a Custodes. Like,
And also to be also partly people wanting their army to have something special and not liking when another army has it.
and they do. The Dark Angel's jet bike is amazing. I mean,
It
like,
is. And
like-
also, it's a very different pattern from what the Custodes have. They still technically have the last Corax model.
right. And like and you have to understand the Custodes are geared for a specific style of combat, of which the jet bike is going to help with that. It's a whole different style of doing everything. And not to get off on a tangent with the Dark Angel stuff, but the way the rules are written, literally only faction Dark Angels have that jet bike because
Yeah.
you can't do counts as, but
And-
you can in my book. But that's, don't tell GW.
Well, you can do counts as for everything but the named characters.
right. But don't worry, if you
Yeah.
play against me, you can do it. It's fine because there's no tactical benefit for Angels of Vengeance. Like, it's not like Angels of Vengeance have a jet bike. It's therefore stronger than a Dark Angel's jet bike. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, there's no reason for that rule to even be in there. But
Yeah, I honestly think that they do it purposely because in the tournament scene, everyone was going, I can't stand the fact that people have Azrael and call him Ted.
but like what? But aside from that being a pet peeve, it's not like he's therefore stronger because he's Ted now. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's like,
I totally get it, but that seems to be the only reason they did it was because the tournament seeds were angry that people did it.
and back in the day, and not only the Dark Angels Codex, but the Space Marine Codex said this too. But the Dark Angels 4th Ed, that was basically a 5th Ed Codex written in 4th Ed, specifically said, "Hey, you want to collect a successor? That's cool. Just rename the special characters because Belial isn't a part of the Angels of Vengeance. So just call him something else." Like it was exact 180 of what their stance is now.
It is. It's very weird. I will also say, honestly, in my opinion, I think if I were to run the Custodes jet bikes, I'd probably buy the Forge World ones because I like the spears on those more.
I get you.
Like, I think my issue is like when I see the Forge World Custodian Guard, and I see that spear on that bike, I'm like, that's an Imperial spear. When I see the GW version, I'm like, what, did they just like raid a bunch of Shining Spear shrines? Because they look like they're wielding laser lances.
It's an odd look.
Like, I get they're trying to get more the knightly lance look, but when they do that, it just, like I said, I think immediately the Shining spear instead of Custodian Guard.
Yeah, I get that. It's like I'm like neutral either way purely because I want to see more so how that like what all they're gonna do.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't mind the look of it necessarily. I just two things about what we see in Custodes wise for 40K coming. That three, I already mentioned one. The Terminator armored guys having Guardian Spears is an interesting call. Like, I feel like I just don't. Now the Guardian Spear is a fantastic weapon. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want them to chainsaw it up where like everything
Everyone
has a
has.
chainsaw. Like I just that's not necessary.
Mm.
But it's fine, whatever. Especially if they have rules for the other pattern Terminators, which would be kind of ridiculous because their range weapons awesome and their melee weapons even better. But one, the Land Raiders are traditionally like if you want to say supposed to be, not that, because this is whatever they want, but in the old card game are predominantly red,
Mm-hmm.
and with gold accenting. That's how I would do a Land Raider for them personally, because
Yeah.
I think it just complements the golden armor better that way.
Mm.
And B, going with that, the jet bikes were predominantly silver with golden riders. Like I feel like they're taking
Gold a little too far.
Austin Powers,
Gold.
gold member.
Gold member. That was his name. Yeah.
Yeah, like I like gold. Don't get me wrong, and I like the Legio Custodes. If this codex was a thing when I was first getting in 40K, that would be my calling. That's my jam. But like, it's just like, come on, guys, let's like a little too much gold. Like, I not that they're gonna water them down, but I just feel like if it's done this way because it's 40K Custodes, then there's no reason to do that because they're timeless. Like literally,
Yeah.
they're immortal. like unless you kill them in battle, they're not dying.
Yeah.
So, what's also interesting is, and they kind of went over this in the fluff already, that they're donning red. They stopped donning red cloaks and red plumes for black in mourning of their failure to protect the Emperor.
Yeah. Actually,
And-
if you look in some of the new pictures, the captain, the dude who's supposedly like the leader of the Custodian Guard,
he's the
in
general
red,
captain.
but the dudes behind him are all in black.
Right. I already have I want to build a force of them, and
Oh, totally.
like that's my jam right there. And what I would do them all in black, and their leader, he would like one of his knowings amongst the Custodian Guard would be the black hand of the Emperor, like, and he'd be golden armored, but all of his leather would be black leather, all of his cloth would be black cloth, like the whole like vengeful wrath incarnate, like a very warlike Custodes is very my concept
Which is
behind my
also
leader.
funny. There is a picture of the same guy, the artwork,
With black
and he's in
armor.
black.
Yeah, he's in black robes and stuff.
And now we know where the lion head is from.
Yeah, but
But you can't see it in the one picture because of that freaking axe blocking it.
yeah, he's like that's also
that's
the
a
one
big
thing.
axe.
That's a big axe. You don't want when he asks you a question, you're gonna know about it. But but one thing also about the Custodes, as is their right, they have the right to go into battle equipped with whatever gear they want.
Yeah.
Like, so if they don't want the Guardian Spear, if they want like an Aquilon sword, or if they want something else, they do it. So obviously, for rules for a codex, you gotta tame that down a bit.
Yeah.
But I am curious for their shield captains and their leader HQ that isn't a character, a special character, what
Yeah.
all options you truly get.
That one dude, the shield captain guy, kind of reminds me of the Forge World, exclusive mini.
Right.
I'm just say.
I'm just wondering, like, what all option-wise a generic HQ has access to.
One of the things that I really want to see, honestly, is I want to see more of the troop box bits, because it looks like there's a couple of new leg bits that will make making my kitten conversion so much easier, because the guy's actually standing proper, so I don't have to do any molding to the legs.
Yeah, and it looks like the Terminator stuff, they have access to axes that are almost as big as their leaders, as well as Guardian Spears or a cool icon. Now,
It looks like the Terminators are kind of like, from what I'm reading, they function like our Deathwing Command Squad. They can either be 3 types of HQ choices, a shield captain, a standard bearer, and some other guy, or they can be 3 Terminators, or they can be 3 other guys, it looks like.
yeah, I'm wondering what all the bits are going to have.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my hope is probably not going to happen. I really want one of their bits to be the right hand, just to be by itself. Because and I would love for the left hand to have the weapon instead, which doesn't look like it's going to happen. Purely because I need that. I need a open right hand for my segment. But but
Well, it looks like it does appear like one of them does have it. I have seen a couple of the minis where they do have the spear in the left hand. One of them, actually, if I recall correctly, does have an open hand in one of the Custodian Guard.
yeah,
Like
but
the
that's
grunts.
the powered armor guys though. I don't know, and those
Well,
hands
power
have
hands are about the roughly the same size as
Well-
a Terminator's hand when it's not power fisted.
what I mean is for that though is the way their armpit is. That hand is bound in a leather like thing, and I don't know if that hand is separate or part of the forearm.
Most likely part of the forearm.
Right, and is bound in a leather. I just don't know if it could work easily. You know what I mean? But
You could probably do it. I have faith in you.
well, I have a custodian. It all depends if that kit for their grunts, which is such a misnomer.
Well, that's the best
yeah.
way to describe them.
Yeah, but I don't. I'm wondering if that's a rework kit of what came out in the Talons of the Emperor box, which I have or not. I don't know. I haven't really looked through it properly, but I have seen what you're talking about.
It looks like basically that, like they took the Talons of the Emperor Custodes and reworked them with a few extra bits for posing and such.
Right.
Because definitely there are a bunch with different leg setups, and from what I've been reading, it looks like you'll have the Guardian Spear versions, which are the troops of the dudes as they are right now in the Talons of the Emperor box. And then there's the veterans. Those are the ones that have like the leather strapped glove bits on them, and they seem to be a totally new kit.
Yeah, so I'm really eager for Terminators because you know me, but I'm eager for everything. These dudes. The moment I learned about Custodes themselves, I was like, oh my god, they'll never be in 40K, and look where we are now. So it's like
there's a lot of stuff you could say that about almost. Like people go back to like 4th Ed, they'll never bring the Primarchs back.
Well, yeah, but this. I'm not saying the Primarchs were brought back fine, but as an army, this just looks like it'll be the first proper bring in.
I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of stuff that we never thought was going to come back or get put in, and GW's been like, well, challenge accepted.
Yeah, at least this time it looks like they're doing it right, unlike the Skitari.
Okay.
They've got better.
I honestly was interested in the Skitari Mechanicum until their Codex came out. Like, I liked them more when I had to use guardsmen to represent them.
I like them. I just feel like back when they first came out, there was no reason for them and the Mechanicus to be separate.
No. That was a very odd choice.
And so the fact that they're as one now is with knights in there too. I like where they're at. I just feel like, especially now that looking at the Custodes, is like, GW, why didn't you include rules for Forge World Skitari stuff?
Rumor is because there was a question with that, and Forge World, just when 7th Ed was still around, went, oh, by the way, our next Imperial Armor is going to be bringing Forge World Skitari into 40K. So I think it was more a GW was going to do it, and then Forge World was like, but we were going to do that, and then they went, okay, fine.
Yeah, it's just, to be honest, I feel like they were, like, with the Mechanicum, when it first came out, even though it's a lot better now as one cohesive book, which is what it should have been from the get-go, they're being too conservative with them. The Mechanicum was wacky, zany tech stuff. Like they're out there. They are think what the 1930s thought about the new millennium, right? That's the level of Mechanicum is at. Like the Mechanicum, they got there with like the rad guns and whatnot. That's cool, and they, one of their relics is literally a nuclear warhead that somebody carries around. It's fantastic, but they've got a little bit out there some of their stuff, but I feel like they were too conservative with what the Mechanicum can bring to the table. Like This is like outside of things like Custodians with their awesome relic technology and Astartes tech for the Astarte stuff, for just war technology outside of superhuman genetic equipped dudes, the Mechanicum were just everywhere. Like you could do whatever you like. I think the way they went with the Electro Priest was okay, but not the best. Like I just feel like they played a little bit too conservative with the zaniness that is truly there with the Mechanicum.
One of my most disappointing things with this is on the 30K side of things is that we have yet to see that AI monstrosity that the one crazy Dark Mechanicum dude invented.
Yeah.
From Mechanicum that's chasing around the knight and the other girl the whole time. I'm like, where is that thing?
Yeah, that thing would be cool to see.
But moving on with stuff, we have been officially off the radar for a while here, and a couple of our viewers would be interested to know what we have been up to in the interim. I'm just going to quickly pull up our page for a second because I want to know when the last time we actually posted a podcast before the December one was, and that the answer to that is let's see. Boom. Sorry, I got distracted. Our channel got distracted by comments on our pages. 7 months ago.
See, that seems odd because I know we've done them before.
What do you think about putting your bed in that?
The last official one we posted was in June, and you are right. We have been recording them. I've been getting lazy because of work and such, and I just forget to post them.
Heresy! No,
so that's the official answer to why you haven't been hearing from us is we have been meeting once a month, doing these podcasts, just chatting away with each other, talking about stuff that's coming out and everything, and then what happens is...
don't forget the things.
And things. And what happens is we record it, we get it all packed down, and I go, okay, time to go do this, and then something happens with work, I decide to work on some hobby stuff, I just lose track of everything, and then next thing I know, James is going, when do you want to do the next podcast? I'm like, oh, sure, let's record, and I just keep forgetting about the fact that I never posted the last one. So that's the official answer on why we haven't been podcasting.
Right.
So what have we been doing since last June? I honestly can't remember, but I can do a little bit of what I've been doing. Mostly work. I've been doing a lot of crazy work because my job has me. I'm usually centraled in Long Island, but everybody that handles the city, the Newburgh area, have been ditching. We can't just get someone and keep them there. And another person got hurt, so I've been covering like 3 territories at my job, which is one of the reasons why, I haven't been doing any videos or anything, because I'd get home and I'd just be like, I don't want to do nothing, and then I go and I paint something, which I have not made any progress. I will be honest. I painted, actually that's not entirely true. I painted all of my Aspect Warriors, with the exception of 2 Exarchs and the Phoenix Lords. Which, I'm very happy with myself that I was able to do that. And I've been working recently on 2 Autoks and a Lynx, because of what my plans are with this year, which we'll get into later. And I've been slowly building a 30k army. I've gotten like doors, characters. I just recently bought Russ. I bought Russ as a yay. I passed a phys ed test that I was hoping to pass. Hopefully now I won't fall off the bandwagon. And I missed getting him in for the Reverend Titan contest giveaway by 1 hour. I was so angry.
That's unfortunate.
Yep. So I bought a lot of. Once I get ready and start painting Horus Heresy, I don't really need to buy anything. I've got like a 2,000 point army just sitting here, doing nothing.
Nice.
And I've been basically trying to just find a good time to paint, find a good new techniques for painting. I'm actually some new stuff happening is I'm meeting one of my friends got in contact with this really great painter. Like I believe they're like heavy metal quality painters who do painting sessions at cons, and he got them to come down to do a private painting lesson for all of us. So we're going to be learning like object source lighting, non-metallic metals, blending, all this other stuff, whatever they can fit into the session that we have, which is going to be fun. And that's what I've gotten better with my airbrush, and I actually just purchased the new Sotar 2020 because Badger decided to go crazy and go, hey, any airbrush you want, $54. I was like, sold, sold, sold! And that's mostly what I've been doing recently, is just basically painting, and I painted pretty much all of my Aspect Warriors. I went from 3 Aspect Warrior squads to like 10 fully painted.
Nice.
That's been the bulk of what I've been up to since between June and December. How about you?
Hobby wise, not too much at all.
Shame.
I've
Terrible shame.
I got the Sekhmet Terminator that I've been working on forever, the red done on it, so now I got to touch up the gold and do the accent colors.
Nice.
That's really about it. I have a Primaris Captain partially assembled to a point where I got like the power sword effect I wanted to try out on him done, but I don't know actual color scheme for it, and I don't really care.
And you got some Thousand Sun Doors for your Unfriender.
Well, I don't have them.
Yeah, I know.
But no, but yeah,
I actually have them, folks. They're sitting in a box waiting for me to get to the post office.
as long as they weren't shipped yet, because I know you mentioned about shipping it, and then nothing showed up. So I'm like, I hope he didn't ship them and they got lost. That'd be bad. Yeah. But
no, the day I was going to mail them out, the snow bomb hit us.
Yes, you got hit by a snow bomb. No, so yeah, but I got those incoming for that thing. I got Custodes I want to paint up because reasons. But really, I've been working on the segment very, very slowly. I got all the red done on the armor though, and
nice.
Once really the way I'm doing the whole Tamir clear it over gold. And once you get the red armor done on 1,000 Suns pre-heresy model, what all that's left is clean up and then some minor like accent color work. It really goes quick after that. So once I'm able to actually sit down and do the detail work, that should come together pretty swiftly. Outside of that, I didn't look too hard, but I was trying to find my Warhawk, which is a clan assault mech for BattleTech that I have a blister of. And I was trying to find it because I know it is partially open, and I just want to make sure I can gather all the pieces because I would like to build it. But I just don't know where it went in one of my boxes.
This is a mini for the BattleTech game, or is this like a display model?
It's a mini for the BattleTech game.
Okay.
It's the standard. Okay, the weirdest thing about BattleTech miniatures is that it's like 14 million scales. There's the plastic models that are multi-part that came in the 25th anniversary box set, in which they did not make anything else but those two. They're in no scale with anything else, basically.
Okay.
And you got the standard scale, as I'll call it, for the standard manager game. Then you got like not epic scale level, but you got smaller scale for like doing bigger games with.
Okay. They basically went when you want to do Apocalypse, you switch scales.
Yeah, although nobody really does because you just make a bigger board and have more fun with it with the bigger guys. But you could, and they sell, and those are sold instead of being sold as one model. Those are sold in like a squad, so you get like a lance or a star or whatever. And then there is some mechs out there at museum grade or museum quality, which are a little bit bigger to be put on display, and that's about it. Huh. I think that's what the plastic ones are in scale with. I don't know because I've never seen one in person. Then you had the old, which I'd love to get just one of, armor cast, which was like Titan scale. So, like, those things literally were the size of Titans, and awesome. But armor cast doesn't make them no more.
No,
So
Armacast makes very little, actually.
yeah,
They mostly do terrain and visual effects for other
yeah.
models.
which is cool. But yeah, so there's a bunch of different scales. My Hellbringer mech is missing an arm. I don't know where it went. So luckily there is a well, all the mechs are pewter.
Mm.
They're done by Ironwood Metals.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the whole disconnect of BattleTech is that you got like 3 different companies handling the actual game. So
Yeah.
so you have Ironwood Metals who make the model. They do have the equivalent of like a parts bin page where you can just order an arm bit,
Okay.
which is cool. So like if it breaks, if you missing something, you can order an arm bit in. You could conversely, because they don't make like mechs have variants, particularly the Omni mechs, which were Clan and then Industry has their own. So that Hellbringer, or a Summoner, or a Timberwolf, or the Warhawk has different variants, which would use different arms.
Yeah.
And those arms, luckily enough, may come on other mech kits. Well, instead of buying a whole nother mech, like say you want the let's say you want an arm that comes on the Summoner model Prime, but you want it for another mech, but you don't want the Summoner. They don't expect you to buy a Summoner just for one arm. They sell a bunch of different arms that can be used for multiple mechs. You just gotta know what you're looking for when you do that, and what is the equivalent of. But that's pretty cool. So I just have to eventually order that arm bit for my Hellbringer Prime. But I want to find my Warhawk Prime, and yes, I'm using the clan names because clan mechs have an industry designation and clan and their real name. It's kind of like Kakarot and Goku, I want to find the Warhawk Prime first to see if I lost any bits. So then I'll just order those to replace it, and then maybe order another mech. So they're still a little bit in the past with these pewter models. Luckily, they don't need to be super detailed because they are 1/285th scale basically.
Yeah.
Like they're while it stands as tall as a Space Marine, it represents a 45-foot, 50-foot tall thing. So you're not gonna have the detail be super in depth there because it just can't. But so them being still done the old-fashioned pewter way, it lets them survive. But I'm really hoping that maybe something gives them a booster shot, because that BattleTech deserves to be in the limelight again, because it's just really cool. I really love MechWarrior and BattleTech stuff, and the Robotech game, RPG tactics game, deserves better than what it's got. So
You don't mean Robotech, do you?
yeah, Robotech RPG Tactics.
Okay.
Robotech RPG Tactics is a mouthful. I supported that Kickstarter way back when. I have models for it, but then they kind of revamped their entire game, so I don't honestly even know. I saw what I could, not that I need to bolster my force with anything, because I got a lot of models from the level I backed it at. But I don't even know what they're if the stuff I have is even compatible with the game they play. I don't know what's going on there anymore. It hit such a cluster truck that I don't know. I don't even know what to do. So there's that, which is unfortunate for that, because that looked really cool. The models are plastic. Like the Veritech fighters, if you bought one fighter, you got 3 models so you could build it in 3 different modes. So because it could change mode during the game, which was cool.
Which is an interesting concept.
It was a really cool concept, and then Then it just went off the rails. I have no idea.
Well, to be fair, when's the last time anything Robotech related actually saw itself into completion?
Well, this saw itself into completion. Then some really bad stuff happened. Some really dark things happened to some of the members. I think somebody committed suicide on the team. And then the community relentlessly harassed them. And so it got weird and it got dark, and I just stopped paying attention, because it was just the fog of war, if you will, was so thick I didn't know what was going on. So I don't know where they're at now. I get the email updates. I'm just so lost. It's like coming into It's like coming into a book halfway through the book, only to starting it halfway through, only realize there were 3 books prior to this book. It's like I don't know what's going on. So it's like, so I don't know I don't know. But so it's a shame for that because that was cool, and then it's a shame for BattleTech because they're literally just now like super niche still. Like I think, if BattleTech could be under one, if BattleTech could be under one roof, like Privateer Press is with their games, or GW, or even Infinity Wars, and all that. Well, not Infinity Wars, but Infinity. Infinity Wars is something different. But if BattleTech could somehow get everything compiled into just one company, manning the reins and doing stuff, that I think is what's necessary, but it's so hard given how that IP has been just chopped up and divvied out.
Yeah, because isn't like Piranha Head owns the video games, and they're the ones that are currently fighting with Harmony Gold, and then someone else owns the board game or something like that?
Yeah, Piranha Games there's Piranha Games, there's Harebrained Schemes. Harebrained Scheme does one game.
Yeah.
Piranha does another game. They do the simulator game on the PC. The turn-based strategy game is done by Harebrained Schemes. Basically, if any company could, in theory, buy the rights from the proprietary holder, which I think is Topps, who controls Topps through Catalyst Game Labs.
Okay.
So, Catalyst Game Labs, I think, has the proprietary rights to the BattleTech IP, and therefore MechWarrior and things. Yeah. But then you as a developer could go, I want to make a game for this, and then if they give you, and then you give them money, and then you get the rights to do the game. I think that's how Piranha got it, and I think that's how
which is a little weird then for me, honestly, that Harmony Gold's going after them and not the people that own the IP.
Because the people that own the IP aren't like
doing anything.
Well, they are doing stuff, but they're not doing. The big reason why Harmony Gold is going after them, aside from the fact that Harmony Gold likes to be a jerk, is because their stuff is utilizing the unseen mechs.
Okay.
But they're saying we're using the redesigned version of it, but they're saying it's still too close. Catalyst Game Labs and Ironwind Metals have completely resculpted those mechs. To where it's okay for them to produce that via Harmony Gold. So they're okay.
So the other companies are like, look, let's just make it so they'll shut up, and Piranha Head's going, no, this is our design, we're gonna keep it.
Well, yeah, they're also and it's like, how even with the redesign, it's a boxy bipedal mech with barrels for arms. What do you want from us? It's like It's like, what do you want? But
what do you want? They want a cut of the profit.
Yeah, but so that's why Harmony Gold is going after them. But then it gets weirder because Catalyst Game Labs does the RPG, does the BattleTech miniature game stuff and all that, which has 2 different modes. It has the classic board game-esque one with the hexes, which can be done. So this is where Catalyst Game Labs kind of screws up. The classic BattleTech game is meant to be on a hex grid format.
Okay.
But it has rules to convert it hexless, which is how everybody I've seen plays it. Classic BattleTech. Then they made BattleTech Alpha Strike. Dumbed down, not to make it sound negative, but instead of it being a whole 2-page character sheet, like you're playing an RPG game for each mech, it's the equivalent of a card, almost like Warhammer Wars. It's made a lot easier to do, and it doesn't use hexes. It's meant to be like a modern miniature war game. But then in those rules, they have rules for converting it to a hex-based format. It's like, why? Why are we doing this? It's like,
well, I can see them making the conversion for those who are like, I want to play old BattleTech.
Right, but I mean, classic BattleTech being hexless, I get it. I get that. But why are you going to make Alpha Strike, which is not meant to be BattleTech Classic? It's meant to be like a faster-paced game, more along the lines of 40K style playing, and then go, here's rules to slow it down. It's like, that's just weird. And then I don't know where they're at. I have to double check where they're at with the new core rules for Classic BattleTech, because they were redoing that, which was really cool. But so they do that. Then you get Ironwind Metals, who do the miniatures. Then you have another site they own called Camel Spec Online. This is, I believe, owned by Catalyst Games, but it's its own dedicated site.
Mm-hmm.
And Camel Spec Online shows you the color scheme for the mechs.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to do Alpha Galaxy, Smoke Jaguar, you want to do Draconis Combine, Guard, Royal Guard, or whatever, you can, here are the color schemes. You want to do this style, that style, whatever. So that's cool. But so you have bg.battletech.com, you got the main Battletech site, you got the Catalyst Game Lab Battletech site, which is a storefront site, and like the general info site. You got the Camel Spec Online website to go and check out the color schemes. You got the Ironwind Metal site to check out the models. And then if you want to get decals for them, I'd say you'd have to go to Fighting Piranha Graphics website, but every time I've contacted them, I never got a response back. I don't know if they're defunct or what. But there's still, you can still go to the site. So there's like 5 sites just to try and play this game and figure out stuff. It's like,
that is a little weird. Someone's got to sit down and go, okay, let's reorganize everything.
And then like MechCore was another storefront site, but if you go there, then it takes you to another. Like it's a cluster, and it may like they have streamlined it a little bit since I last complained about their clusterness. But like, it's such a cluster. I mean, even like it makes Privateer Press's website look smooth. Which, wow, you did that, Battletech. Wow. But like it makes you go to Privateer Press and go, how nice. So that's saying something, because that site, I don't know, I don't know what they're like. Not that I'm saying everything should be like GW's site, because that's really a storefront site. I get it, but Infinity has a decent enough site to navigate and find information out for your factions. You know, like what's so hard? Like you if you want to try to find out Convergers of Cyrus stuff, you can't even find them normally on Privateer Press's site.
Nope. You have to find them yourself. You got to earn the right.
You got to earn the right. But yeah, so that's where BattleTech is currently at. But I think. MechCon 2017 happened, so I have to double check on that stuff. But it happens in Vancouver, which is like that's so far away. But it happens in December, which is pretty for Harebrained Schemes and Piranha, and Mech Warrior 5, as it's being called, because it basically is.
Yeah.
Name. So it's a whole.
The number hasn't been used yet, so they can still use it.
Oh yeah, it's fine, but it's just technically it's like Mech Warrior 7, but or 6, but. Yeah, technically be like, but anyway, MechWarrior 5 or whatever they're gonna call it, MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, whatever it is, it hasn't been ceased and desisted to the point where the original MechWarrior 5 was and became MechWarrior Online. So it's still progressing forward. So that's good news for MechWarrior fans.
I do hope it goes through, because I couldn't get into MechWarrior Online, probably because it was in Call of Duty with robots.
It was World of Tanks.
Yeah, with robots. And I don't know, like, a lot of those games just don't appeal to me, mainly because I stink when you put me next to another person, so I'm like, great, I wasted 10 minutes, wait, okay, awesome, I'm gonna play this game, 2 minutes, I'm out, okay, now let me watch 15 minutes of people who are way better than me play this game. Like,
that is the big problem with these games.
It gets to the point where I'm just like, I might as well just stream this game, I'd have the same experience.
See, the thing, well, I really shouldn't say it's like World of Tanks. It's more in depth than that, but the concept is the same. Yeah, the
concept's the same. You get a team, you go on one side, you run to the other guys and do stuff.
Yeah, and the thing is that, and they've done a lot of really cool changes where it's not like one and done. Now everybody brings in like 4 mechs to a battle, and then you fight.
Cool.
Like when you fight, and like it depends on if you're doing like there's different ways to play, and one of them, which is really cool, is you try and defend or take territory. So you're either defenders or attackers, depending upon if you're attacking or defending. I know, shocker, but that's how it works. And you bring in there's a weight tonnage cap, so you can't just bring 4 assault mechs, but you bring a mix of mechs, and you choose which one you want to start with first. The dropship comes down, the entire team drops out on both sides. One starts in the base, and the one has to attack the base. And when you get blown up, the next drop ship, because they come in at regular intervals, drops you back in at your drop zone. And you go with
Okay.
your second mech and your third mech. And once your fourth mech is destroyed, then you're out. So it's a little bit, that's a lot of fun. The problem with Mech Warrior Online is not a problem with the game. It's the problem that all Mech Warrior Online gaming from Mech Warrior 2, when you did it via dial-up back in the day, to Mech Warrior 3, when I played that pretty heavily online, Mech Warrior 4, the same thing is you run into two things. Firstly, you're allowed to customize any mech in the mech bay. They do this so for players to have fun, because technically things like the Awesome and the Atlas should not be as customizable as people can do. But they let you do it because you want to have fun with it. They're not going to make only Omni mechs be customizable and whatnot.
Yeah.
And even with Omni mechs, instead of just going from alternate A, B, C, D, whatever, you get to build your own customization completely too. Things that you wouldn't see in the lore of the game, put it to you that way.
Yeah.
Like if you're playing the miniature game, you would never see these mechs in play this way. There are rules technically for that, but it would never be the case. You would just play the mech. You play the Atlas like it's meant to be, and so on and so forth. As a result, you run into certain mech types: missile boats, PPC snipers, laser boats, etc. And the problem with those is it's like min-max cheese. Like that's truly where you could use the word cheese and be justified. It's like in that type of situation. It's min-max to the nth degree. When your team rolls in, and the enemy team has like 2 or 3 mechs at that time, all launching at least 2 LRM 20s, long range missile 20s per mech. So if you have 3 mechs, that's 20, 40, 60, 80. Well, that's 120 missiles coming at one dude. It's a little ridiculous.
I think my most frustrating part when I played Mech Warrior was I couldn't understand why, I would play against the dude, and we'd both have the same cannon. We'd have a laser cannon, let's just say, and we'd both hit each other in the chest with the laser cannon and hold it, to see how long it takes. And it seems like no matter what, if I hit him first, or if I hit him by like a second or like 20 seconds earlier, he always ended up killing me in 2 seconds, where I take like 45, and it never... I felt like I was like, what am I doing wrong? I'm having the same loadout, yet he's killing me 10 times faster, yet he's not hitting me anywhere special. That was one of the things that I really couldn't stand, was that I couldn't understand why his laser cannon would blow up my leg in 2 shots, where my laser cannon barely dinks his armor after 50 shots.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't happen much in MechWarrior Online, truthfully, anymore. Now it's out of its beta stage proper and all that. But, the other problem with that is, like I mentioned, the PPC sniper. They'll throw, 2 or 3 PPCs in the chest. So if they can, they put them all in one particular spot sometimes. Yeah. So it looks like they're firing 1 when they're firing 3. Yeah. And it's stuff which is whatever. And the thing is, when you have a whole team of mechs like that, it become the only way to counter, not the only way to counter, because I don't make special conversions of mechs. Whenever I play MechWarrior Online, I use the Timberwolf Prime or the Hellbringer Prime or the Nova A Prime, whatever. Yeah. And I can do fine, but it's almost like you're at a handicap because people build the min-max. They give it a bigger engine, more armor, whatever. They just put 2 guns on it, but a whole bunch of heat sinks, and they keep so they can just constantly fire whenever it recharges. And that's what makes it annoying. Is the people making it annoying. Yeah. But MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries is basically MechWarrior Online single player with a campaign,
which I would be all over that.
Right.
I would find one of those stupid mech keyboard things just to play that.
Yeah, so that's why I'm really looking forward to the single player game, because I do prefer the story, albeit I do like being a loyalist to Smoke Jaguar, MechWarrior Online, and being Smoke Jaguar camo and doing everything for Smoke Jack, because they're my dudes. But I would prefer. I love playing the story. Not that MechWarrior it never ever has a truly engrossing story necessarily. It's fine storytelling, but it's the fact that I'm playing through a story, and I don't know, you know what I mean. I'm going from mission 1 to mission last, and I see progression. I see a story arc happening. It's fun. I like that. And I'm definitely going to be looking forward to that when it comes out. It's just, BattleTech, to this day, I feel as far as miniature wargaming goes, peak the highest out of any game. Now that's a bold statement considering 40K has had Dawn of War, has had Space Marine, has had that Ultramarine movie, which was looked gorgeous, but that's about it.
It didn't even look that good.
It did first. The people's face in, but the power armor looked good.
The only thing I sat there for is I expected a little bit better with continuity with someone like Dan Abnett behind it.
Well, here's the problem with anything that's not the miniature game for 40K that uses Ultramarines. It's always like a parallel universe Ultramarine captain. It's never the captain of the actual company. It's always somebody random, and it's like, why?
Like my biggest issue is for anyone, just a quick spoiler warning here, is they should have known about General Zod earlier in the film because of the banner that lights on fire whenever demons are present.
Right, but it's just that there's plot holes galore in there, but it's just like what I didn't get was that's not how a Crozius Arcanum works. Like why? Like how did that make you back? Like where did that come from? Why can't I do that? Two, it's Ultramarine Second Company, but is nobody nobody that we know from Second Company's in it. So it's like, just like that was with Space Marine too. You were the Ultramarines captain of the Second Company. You're like, but I'm not Sicarius. Who am I? Why am I here? What is going on? But also, they weren't serious enough. Like, you can't give Space Marine some type of potential humor or anything to go along with it. It'd have to be the space, like the one of the things.
If you were Space Wolves, you could probably get away with a little
bit. But that's the very essence of Space Marines, is that they would not make. It just feels awkward to be like, to have any type of jib or jab going on. But outside of that, it was interesting. I like the concept for it. I just feel like certain things are just like, this wasn't like, why did you make that choice? But anyways, we had GW had that for 40K. 40K obviously immensely popular. BattleTech in its prime, the only thing it was missing was a feature-length movie on the big screen. It had a cartoon show on TV, on Saturday Kids cartoons, like prime time. Like, you know what I mean? Like for cartoons in the 90s, it was like in the prime, in part of the prime slot, which 40K never. Video games galore, both for Super NES, Sega Genesis, and computer, PlayStation ports, Xbox eventually had one too. They had the PC game covered before basically anybody else. In fact, 1989 was when MechWarrior 1 came out. I mean, they had it pretty much covered. Not that there wasn't games prior to that. There were for BattleTech, but the first actual MechWarrior game was 1989.
And the TV show came out in 94.
Yeah, they had a TV show. They had a comic book series that ran with it that was sold at regular comic stores. Like, it wasn't like you had to be a special niche thing. It was there. Like, boom, comic. That was a part of it. They had toys that you could get at Toys R Us. Like actual toys to buy, on top of their miniatures to buy. They had a quarterly magazine that you Mech Force Quarterly, which I was a part of, which was really cool to really help with the miniature gaming and all that and short story stuff. They had novels galore. The whole Twilight of the Clan series was like a 9-book series in and of itself, amongst everything else. Plus, MechWarrior got its own novels eventually too, under the MechWarrior name. They had RPGs. Obviously the miniature game. They had the Tesla pods that made it onto the Discovery Channel in the 90s, had that whole like special thing about technology and stuff. It featured the BattleTech Tesla pod game for how revolutionary it was and how crazy it was. And that had online league tournament going on in the 90s and places that hosted it. So like, it did everything but have a movie on the silver screen. And it did it all in the 90s, including like where like at its absolute peak, it has done everything any other game has done nowadays. It's been there, done that, wrote a postcard about it. Like, like I have yet to see a cartoon. Not that cartoons are treated the same way as they were back then, but I've yet to see something on real TV. You know what I mean? Like come out that way. Um, even I mean, kids that I went to school with that never played MechWarrior Battletech knew of the name.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, I
But,
knew of it. I knew that one robot image.
Yeah, I mean, to this day, there's hardly anything more iconic than the Atlas or the Timberwolf as mechs. Like when you look up mech images, you just see that and you go, that's it. Like people knew about. I knew some. I had some friends in high school and stuff that knew about 40K only because they went to comic shops and they saw how ridiculously expensive it was to play the hobby. So that's the only reason they knew it from. But they heard of Battletech and MechWarrior because of how it was in pop culture and everything, and how it was. The books were in libraries to borrow. What do you? It's called borrow, right? You don't rent them from a library.
No, you borrow books.
Yeah, you borrow books. That's what I thought. I didn't know if I was just saying that because I didn't know the actual word my entire life, or if that was the
you're
official
right.
word. Okay.
You are correct. You borrowed books from a library. You rented movies from a Blockbuster.
Right. Like
Now
I
I'm
just,
really dating us because
Yes.
we both know what a Blockbuster is.
not only that, I remember renting from TNF Video back when we had like actual private rental places.
Hollywood Video as well.
It was Hollywood Video. By me, we had Blockbuster, Hollywood Video. In the prime of this stuff, which you're probably saying, what is this? We have Blockbuster, not you, but the people listening.
Yeah.
Blockbuster, Hollywood Video. They came late to the game to my town.
Yeah.
And then we had TNF Video, which was an independent thing with the saloon doors to get to the adult section because they had an adult section.
Yeah.
And of course, all right, I'd never been back there because I was a kid and I just didn't. I'd rather play the arcade games, look at the video games up front.
Yeah.
Because I was a kid. But it had saloon doors. Why was it always saloon doors? but and then he had not Movie Magic. It was like Movie Land. We had Movie Land.
Yes, I remember I've never been to a movie land, but I remember the name Movie Land.
Yeah. So we had a Movie Land, TNF Video, which was the completely independent, like old like Italian guy behind the counter who kind of had like the Fonz hairstyle, kinda. Oh man, that was back when I really did it. Back when, if you wanted to rent a VHS,
Ooh, arcade technology here.
you went to where the VHS sleeve was, which had styrofoam in it.
Mm-hmm.
You went behind the sleeve to see if they had one of the boxes there, or you took, in some cases in TNF, they had like almost like a library card for the book thing, like you stamped that you take out of there. That you have rubber band in. You take one of those out, hand it to them, and that's how you got the tape.
Yep. And then you had to rewind.
Yeah, be kind, rewind.
Yep.
I mean,
Well,
wow, we just went. To be honest, I miss those places. They had arcade games in there. Movie Land had popcorn.
good times, good times.
Yeah, I worked at a Blockbuster.
You did.
I did. That was in 2002 or 3, I think. I can't remember.
Something like that.
It's got to be 2003, and when I was in high school, and senior year, and I worked closing, which was always fun. We had to get up at like the crack of dawn to go to school, but
Yeah.
I had to do like I one day I worked opening to close because people kept calling out and I was there. So, but that was crazy. That was a fun job. We had and somebody at one point, I think it was Silence of the Lambs, or whatever.
Good movie.
Or Hannibal, one of the two.
Not so good.
Right, but they returned the library book to Blockbuster. It's like, how drunk were you? It's like, that's a book, sir or madam.
Well, we are running out of time here. So
Yes.
I want to go really quickly into the last thing I want to discuss on this session, which is it is a new year. And what does everybody do on the new year? Make resolutions they have no intention of keeping.
Exactly. It's a tradition, you see.
It is. So I'm curious, what are some of your hobby resolutions, if any?
I'd like to have a working force to actually play the game.
A good
40K
one to
again.
have.
Like my stuff is in shambles,
Mm.
and I would love to put, get it into. It's particularly with the segment. Like my goal is to get my segment Terminator concept force up and running because being a pure Terminator force, it'd be small, easy to do. So at
Yeah.
least get that up and running to play the game
Mm-hmm.
and do all that jazz, and work on my Dark Angels to get them back up to a running force with as a comprehensive. Just get a force to play again because it's annoying not being able to play. Put it
Yeah.
that way. Especially when you have invested all this money into the models and they're like, yeah, I'm not doing anything with it because it's not ready to play. So
Yep.
on top of that, I want to really not dial it down or condense. Like I was looking at. I threw out a couple of paints because they were completely empty. I don't know why I still had the pots. So like literally, there's no way there was nothing in them. I'm like,
Yeah.
why do I even have
do that a
pots?
lot too.
So I really want to go through my paints and thin the herd, if you will, like stuff that I look at and go, this isn't worth saving. Like literally rehabilitating the paint again if I even could, and like really I want to tone it down because while I love having a bunch of paints for like, oh, I need a certain shade of green. Oh, look at this, I have it. Awesome, it's great. At the same time, I should apply a little color theory and I can get the shade that I need for a little speck, once in a blue moon. That way, I feel like I have too much paint. And I'm not like it'd be different if the paint I had was paint I used for certain things, but I literally have paint pots I've never touched. like colors that I don't need. I just bought the set.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I don't want to throw out paint that's good, but any paint that's kind of turned, like it was supposed to be yellow and now it looks kind of brown, then it's gonna go. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Just condense it down to kind of streamline things. To just have a neater hobby supply. So I want to do that, and part of that resolution is to have a dedicated hobby area to do hobbies in. But
That's
not
always
right,
a great thing to have.
but not right now. I mean, I have a little fold-out table that I use,
Yeah.
but that resolution is kind of not to be continued, but a future resolution that'll probably not really come in stone until somewhere around June because of reasons. But yeah, I just want to clean up my hobby stuff and have an army to play with again because it's all well and good,
Yeah.
looking at stuff, getting the codices, reading through them, visualizing what I want to do, and getting techniques figured out to paint things up. But when you haven't played for a couple of years now or anything like that, due to moving around a lot and not having a force with you and so forth, it wears on you to the point where it's like, what am I even doing? So I want to have that force back, even if it's a small little 12-man force, something big enough that I can start playing small games with, just to get, I have the 8th edition rules, I have the stuff, just to get into a line of swing of things with that, and because part of this hobby is the social aspect of playing the game.
Yeah.
And while I have experienced being at the gaming stores to buy stuff and overhearing people and even talking with some people were pretty cool, but overhearing a whole bunch of stuff that I don't want to be experiencing, at the same time you gotta sift through some of that garbage, and we all know, we've all been there.
Yeah.
Sift through some of the garbage to like meet people and get networking again and get stuff that way.
That is quite an interesting resolution, I must say. I bid you good luck on that, because I find hobby resolutions are some of the hardest resolutions to keep.
I think they can be.
Like, they're achievable, but they're also so easy to just lose sight of.
Yeah, well, I think cleaning house it's gonna become a necessity. So the fact that it's just an ongoing resolution, because I feel like clean, especially with paint, when you're cleaning up your paint, I feel it's like a hydra. You cut off one head and two more take its place. It's like, I cleaned paint. How did I have triple the amount? What happened? It's like
it does happen.
So there's that, and then like building a force. I mean, that's just the goal of hobbying.
Yeah.
So I feel like if like for example, the hobby resolutions I find really hard to keep are things like I'm going to learn non-metallic metal, like stuff like that, like learning a really advanced technique because that it's so easy to go. I'm not doing enough of that to really care about it, like,
Yeah.
or I don't need that for this gold trim. It's just a shoulder pad trim. I don't need to actually learn that, and then you don't. And I would love to learn non-metallic metal, but I know I won't be able to achieve it.
I don't think I could actually sit down and do that, especially for a whole army.
Right. I mean, I would love to get to that hyper realistic non-metallic metal gold for Custodian Guard, but I'm like, not happening. Not with that detail. Nope. Not gonna do it. Just not gonna do it. So what are some of yours?
Well, for me, mine's to use a word I very rarely use because I just am not that well versed in vocabulary, is a little ambitious. My major goal, my resolution this year, my major resolution is to get my Craft World Eldar done.
Nice.
I've got a couple of tanks, a bunch of characters, and a couple of super heavies that I need to go through, and I just want to get them all finished. I had a really good, strong start last year when I got all my Aspect Warriors done. Then I foolishly took on a commission paint job, and it put everything on halt. So,
Well,
yeah.
that'll do that. But I must caution you, Jedi. Saying I want to be done with the Force is a path to the dark side because we say we're done with the Force, and then we see that model looks cooler than I remember.
When I consider what I consider done is where I'm at that point where because I have roughly 1,800 points unpainted.
Right.
I want to get all of that painted, so when I buy that one guy, it's just one model kit on my table, not I put him on the shelf with the other 50 that I have.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
a true hobbyist is never done with their army.
And with that, go right into my Horus Heresy army. I'd really want to paint my Thousand Sons, and I really don't want to start doing them until my Eldar are finished. But with that, I want to try to incorporate my hobby resolution into some new content for our channel. I'm going to try and do at least a blog post every month going over my progress with my miniature paintings, and hopefully can generate some like video reviews on maybe some new products that I try out with the models, or just some new model stuff that I want to set up, some unboxing videos, and some other fun stuff going along with that case, just trying to be more involved with the Fearless Games piece. And big thing I want to try and do on the Fearless Games end is get these podcasts off YouTube and onto iTunes. That's like my major big goal for Fearless Games, is to try and maybe put some blog posts up so you guys can see me painting my minis and seeing the progress, and to also just get it where I can just end this video right now, put it on iTunes, and bam, we're done.
Yeah, it definitely would smooth things out. Part of my resolution too. Yeah, thinking, because I said I want to get that Force done, and that Force being Dark Angels. Well, I would love to get my Dark Angels back up to being the megalithic thing that it was, because I had a lot.
Yeah.
Not that I don't have them. I just don't have them the way I want them. So it's like, I want to get my SecMed up. I didn't include BattleTech in my resolutions because I have enough to play BattleTech. I have almost 2 stars worth, which is client squad size for mech stuff.
Nice.
Which is 5. I have at the very least I can feel the star of battle mechs for the clan. I can feel the lance worth of stuff for the inner sphere. I have enough to just do little battles here and there of BattleTech. The thing is, I can't really learn BattleTech because I can't find anybody who plays it. So,
you've moved. It's your own fault.
I couldn't find anybody back on Long Island either.
You never tried to get me to play. I would have done it. I love Robits.
Well, you know what I mean. Like the two of us trying to figure out the GURPS level of rules of BattleTech is like
challenge accepted.
Right. Plus, especially now with them redoing this stuff, it's something that I'm ready to learn that game. I just need the community, which is just not there at the moment. But I also want to build, not build, but like as we do, we're like, oh, you know what? That'd be a cool force. That'd be a cool force. Like I love Exorcists. I love the Red Talons. I love the Rainbow Warriors because their name's hilarious.
It gets a lot of people angry when you mention them.
It's the Rainbow Warriors. At least I'm not saying the S word. Which is Space Dwarf. Because I'm not going to say the actual thing. But
I don't get why everybody wants them back so much.
I don't either. They never were cool. It's like, you know what would be great? If we could take the Space Marine Tactical Marine model and make it even shorter. That'd be great. It's like, no, that wouldn't be great. That'd be terrible. What's wrong with you? It's like, shorter with a beard. Really? That's what you want? That's stupid. I'm sorry.
You
That's
literally
dumb.
want an army that was literally made because they needed to use fantasy models to fill out the hobby line.
Right. But, it's just, Farsight Enclave is all, there's a lot of stuff where, I want the ability to just put that stuff on ice and not constantly want to, I want to be able to just push it away. As much as I love Necrons and I love to build a Necron force, there's too many stuff I want to do custom-wise for it to ever be a thing. I want that out of my system. I don't want it anymore. I'm like, just go away. But that's not going to happen because I'm going to buy their Codex. I'm like, oh, I got to do this. But the people who can collect 1 to 2 armies, even 3, and I say 3, okay, you got your 40k force, you got a second 40k force, and then you got a strictly 30k forward rule force. Something like that or whatever for battle for battling in GW games, or if you're I do Crix and I do what is it, Signar?
Signar.
Like yin and yang almost. I get it, but those people are great, and I wish I could be like that because I wouldn't have I have Grey Knight kits. I've had Space Wolf kits just to get the bits out of them that I need for stuff. I don't need them though. I would love to not buy stuff like that.
Oh, I would love, I moved all my hobby stuff to one area, and I'm like, good, it's here. I see what I need to paint. This will make me stop buying stuff. And now I'm just, cramming it, in cartoons, trying to just fit everything. I'm like, why won't I stop?
The Grey Knight stuff, I got them because loads of cool bits, cool looking armor and whatnot. But then I'm like, I could paint up Grey Knights. Grey Knights would be awesome. The Primaris Captain, I want to do him silver, but I'm like, that's so Grey Knighty. But I basically want a Captain Phasma, the color scheme, because that's an awesome looking color scheme, which is just space. Well, I mean that's chrome, but I'm not going for chrome. The silver armor with black cloaks and stuff. I mean, kind of go that way. Almost like an inverted Dark Angels color scheme of the Horus Heresy time period, but instead of it being predominantly black, it'd be silver because I don't want to do white. But then I look at the Grey Knights and I'm like, oh, Grey Knights are so cool. I want to paint up some Grey Knights. I'm like, but why? I'm never gonna play actual Grey Knights. But
yeah,
it's a struggle we live in with the gaming. But I find game resolutions can be some of the easiest to keep because if you make if you like yours, finish get your Craft World Eldar painted up.
Yeah,
that is very much a reasonable thing to do. It's not like you're saying, you know what I want to do? I want to build a craft world the size of or I want to make or do everything Sky Earth non-metallic metal. It's not not that can't be an achievable goal for some people.
Yeah,
but I know for me it would never happen.
Oh no.
And I know what I feel like, and this is something I want some feedback from the Fearless Gamers on that. Non-metallic metal, Sky Earth particularly non-metallic metal, whether it's gold normal, chrome normal, Sky Earth, whatever it is. I feel like, particularly from places like GW, which can pump out amazingly detailed plastic, or not just plastic, but amazingly detailed models, period. The models are greatly detailed. Let's look at the Custodian Guard. You go, oh my god, good thing they're gold. It's but do you, does that, for people, for me, I look at it and I go, though that kind of rules it out of non-metallic metal because it's just too much detail to do it. Like it would be too busy. It would be, like you have all this detail going over each other. Could you like? What do people think, fearless gamers? Do you think like, especially if you do non-metallic metal, props to you. But do you
Yeah.
think stuff like the Custodian Guard model, because when you look at a lot of the examples for non-metallic metal, even from GW standpoint, the model might be really good looking, but it's not crowned with detail. It's a sanguinor.
Yeah.
It's very broad. The armor is detailed. It's very Greco-Roman, but it's not like busy.
No.
But then look at Gulliman's model. Look at the Custodian Guard models. Those are very busy with detail. I feel
They
like
are.
the busier detail models, I think, kind of put an axe in non-metallic metal process. So I'm wondering what the fearless gamers think. Do they think that, or is it just the fact that I'm so bad at painting, I don't see how you can do it?
And so with that, we will end it here. And thank you all for joining us today. And until next time, fearless gamers, this is Matt the Vet
It's a wild card.
saying take care.
Stick to your resolutions.
Yes.